Happy New Year and welcome to StrangePlay. I'm Rik.
I'm Simon.
And this is our first video of 2019, recorded in 2019, which makes it special. Now, instead of doing a news discussion, we decided that because it's the beginning of a new year, we thought we'd sit down and talk about our top 10 most anticipated games for 2019. So the way that this is going to work is we both pick 5 games and go back and forth discussing them until the list is complete. Before we reveal our most anticipated game of 2019, we'll take a moment to talk about our honourable mentions. You know, games that came close to making the list, but for whatever reason didn't. Each of our 5 games and honourable mentions will be unique, so there will be no repeated games in the list. And remember, this is our list. It will probably be very different to your list, so don't get pissy if we miss off any of your most anticipated games of 2019. It's probably going to happen. We're not doing it on purpose.
We're interested in hearing what your anticipated games are as well, so if you want to do that, our ears are open to it.
Yeah, sign off in the comments below, talk to us on Twitter, join the Discord, come and visit us on Twitch. Just don't be arseholes about it. And with that being said, Simon, start us off with your number 5.
Okay, so it's one of the first big games of the year. It's Anthem. Now, I was optimistic about this, and the more I saw of it, I was like, I don't know. I think it's one of those sort of things where they've seen Destiny, they've seen Division, and they've gone, oh, we can do that as well. And it just seemed a bit half-assed. But I've been talking to people that have played the alphas, and they're like, oh, yeah, this is actually alright. It's not what we thought it were going to be. And the way they've talked about it, obviously they can't talk about it in depth because there was an NDA on it, but the way they've talked about it is like, oh, this could be quite special. I know it's only an alpha or a beta, but I have a remnant of faith in it that it's going to be alright. I do, however, think that if it's going to drop the ball, this will be the one that does it. Out of all the games that are coming out that have the looter-shooter aspect to them, this is the one that doesn't have any experience under its belt. It's got 0 experience. It doesn't have anyone that worked on previous games as a service games. I hate that label, but that's what people call them, so... But yeah, I think that this game is going to be okay at the very worst. I don't think it's going to be a complete clusterfuck like Fallout 76 was or anything like that. I do think it might have a couple of tripping ups. It's not going to be perfect as it comes out because it's going to need to find its feet. But I think it'll do well enough, and I'm looking forward to playing it. It's not just the looking forward to playing it, it's the looking forward to playing it with a group of people as well. You know I'm a highly social gamer. Yeah. And to get a group of people together and sort of delve into these worlds and discover the secrets and the loots and stuff and compare what we've got that tickles my fancy.
Now, I'll be one of those people playing it with you. Anthem actually made it onto my honourable mentions list, so thank you for talking about it. I don't need to cover it anymore. It is interesting that you put it on your list, though, because, as you said, every time we've spoke about it on the news show, you've been really pessimistic about it.
Yeah,
about things happening and whatever, but it's good that you've changed your mind. I've been a defender of it. I've said that I think it looks great, it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's nice that you've come around. But it's nice that you've spoken to people who have actually played it and have kind of put you at ease about it.
Yeah, I think it's more a case of my expectations have been tempered with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you sort of... This is the thing with games. Explicitly, when there's a lot of hype around them, like Anthem. Hype is a game killer. I've always said this.
Yeah.
Hype will fucking sink a game. It can be the best game ever. But if the hype overshadows it, then... it can't really do anything to get out of that shadow.
Yeah.
You see games like Grand Theft Auto 4, especially, were just buried by their own hype. And it was an okay game, Grand Theft Auto 4, but it just got absolutely drowned in the sea of hype that it came out to. And people had a bit of a backlash on it. So, yeah. I hope it's good. What about your number 5?
My number 5 is Untitled Goose Game by House. I've been looking forward to this ever since I saw the trailer for it on the Game Trailers YouTube channel. So it's a stealth action game where you play as a goose, and the whole idea is to just fuck with people. It looks awesome. It's coming to Switch, PC, and Mac, and I've just got a Switch for Christmas, which means I can play it. It just looks fun. It looks so much fun. It looks like it's going to kind of have a similar feel to something like Katamari or Donut County. You know, that kind of just whimsical puzzle, fun weirdness.
It's a fuck about game.
Yeah.
It's like a Nubby Nubby Boy and, like you said, Katamari. It's sort of an esoteric challenge in the way that it presents itself, but it's a weird oblique angle that it's taking. Normally with these stealth games, it's deadly serious or whatever, whereas this is very light-hearted.
Yeah, and it just looks great. You play as a goose, you get to fuck with the farmer. What more do you want in a game?
Yeah, this is also one of my honourable mentions. Which, I'm not massively into it, but it's one of those that's like, I've got my eye on you, Goose. Yeah, there's no getting under my radar.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of fun, and I genuinely can't wait to play it. I don't think there's anything else to say on that, because not much else is known about it, other than the genre and the fact that it's out this year. So, what is your number 4?
Talking about games that have got little known about them, my number 4 is The Outer Worlds. So, yeah, it's basically a crossover between Fallout and Borderlands.
This is the one by Obsidian, right?
Yeah, we don't really know much about it. There's bugger all to go on, really, apart from what we've seen in the trailers. It really ticks all my boxes, though. From what I am as a gamer, it is one of those games, like, you can pigeonhole me into pretty much every one of the aspects that this game has, with the aesthetic and the way that it deals with the characterization, the fact that Obsidian are involved with it. Yeah, I hope it's good. I mean, it could go completely south. Microsoft are pulling the reins on this one now.
So this was revealed during the Game Awards, and it's out this year, which is really quick turnaround. They're pulling the old Bethesda on that, aren't they? Here's a game, it's out in 6 months. So it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Not one for me, but as soon as I saw it, I knew this was your game.
Yeah, exactly.
Just that trailer that we saw, that gameplay trailer that we saw, I saw it was your game. And yeah, I'm glad that it's on your list, actually.
Yeah, I was too intrigued to leave it off. So, what's on your number 4 spot?
My number 4 is Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 is my favourite Resident Evil game from the PlayStation 1 era Resident Evil games.
Mine too.
Resident Evil 4 is my favourite Resident Evil game, period. When I was playing Resident Evil 4, because I was a big fan of the Resident Evil remake on the GameCube, so when I was playing Resident Evil 4, all I could say to myself is, I really want a Resident Evil 2 remake with the graphics and engine and gameplay of Resident Evil 4. And it's taken them, 15 years to do it? Maybe longer, actually. But it's here. It's finally here. It's a complete, from the ground up, proper remake. Like, this is how you remake a game. It looks incredible. The graphics look insane. The gameplay, the atmosphere, the music, the atmosphere. I'm going to put atmosphere on the list at least 3 more times. I can't wait. I genuinely cannot wait for this game. I think it looks incredible. It was an amazing surprise from E3 2018, even though it was rumoured that it was coming for a while. To actually see it was a huge surprise. Bring it on. It's out later this month. Cannot wait.
It's also one of my honourable mentions, this game. You talked about the gestation period between sort of Resi 4 coming out and you wanting the Resi 2 version of that. And it always reminds me of when Dead Space came out, and it's like, this would make an excellent Resident Evil game if they did this. And they sort of did it with the Resident Evil 5 and what have you, the more action-based ones, but they didn't quite get it. It wasn't quite there. I think they sort of looked at it and gone, no, we can do that, but it was never a one-for-one tracing. Whereas I think this Resident Evil 2 complete remake is that. They've gone right back to the drawing board and they've gone, okay, how can we make this work? And I think they've redesigned everything while keeping it very familiar to what Resident Evil 2 was.
Yeah.
So you're going to be familiar with it. It's going to... I think a thing with nostalgia is sometimes you can go back and it's like, I don't remember it being like this, even though it is like this. your memory has a very cruel trick that it plays on you with stuff that you adored at the time. You've just played
Kingdom Hearts,
and it were like, yeah, this isn't what I remember. It's not as good as I thought it was. I'm not having much fun here, and I think, especially with retro gaming, it's kind of mad that we're talking about PlayStation 1 games and retro gaming because it only seems like fucking a couple of years ago to me.
But as you pointed out on stream yesterday, 1999 was 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's fucking scary.
That's insane.
But yeah, I think that this is going to encapsulate that whole feeling that we had in the mid to late 90s playing the Resident Evil games, but with current gen standards.
Yeah, it's taking what Sega have done with Yakuza Kiwami 1 and 2 and just taking it to the next level, because those games are complete remakes from the ground up. This is the same thing, but it looks to be more, if you know what I mean. I can't wait for it, but until we get to play it, I want to know, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is The Division 2. So, if you know me, you'll know that I eventually grew to hate The Division 1.
Yep, you have made that quite clear on several occasions.
Yeah, it's absolute dog shit. They really, really fucked that game up. However, The Division is in a really, really good place now, from what people have told me. I watch people on Twitch play it. I know several people that are playing it, and it's in a position now where people go, you know, all that shit, all that stuff that happened, it's water under the bridge now. They've sorted it. They know what they're doing. Everything feels rewarding. Everything feels great. Everything feels manageable. There's an end game there, and there's something to strive for. Now, that should be brought across to The Division 2. If I play The Division 2 and I don't feel that, I will be so fucking mad. Because they have learned, they have gone over the stumbling block. They are not in a position like Anthem where they don't know what they're doing. They're having to watch other people and learn from their mistakes. They have been through the mistakes. They have corrected the mistakes. They have gone through everything. And they're battle worn as far as it comes to these type of games. They should know what they're doing. And because of that, because they know how to fix things, it should be right from the off. And I'm not talking about bugs and stuff, because bugs happen. We know that games are very complicated now. There's a lot of moving parts, and just out of thousands of lines of code, all it needs is for something to be in the wrong order or for something to be out of place, and it just breaks something. Something doesn't work. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
mechanics and stuff.
I'm talking about mechanics, yeah, and how it plays and how it engages the player. If it can't do that at this point, then I just wait until the fucking StrangePlay news episodes after, because I will be fucking furious.
Or the review, or the first impressions video.
Yeah, I will be fucking furious. But again, like with Anthem, I want to play it through with friends. As I mentioned, I'm a highly sociable gamer, and I want to do what I did with Division 1. I want to do what I did with Destiny. I want to do what I did with Warframe. Those things where it's like, oh, I've discovered this, or have you seen this, or there's a shortcut here, or do you know, that type of thing. I'm ravenous to get hold of this game, to discover those things and share them and have the discussions that you have. Do you know when you sort of away from the game, it's like, oh yeah, we found this boss and he dropped this weapon. It's like, oh, did you get any clue if he could drop it again? It's like, oh, well, I talked to my friend and he says, yeah, he went back and he could. So it's like, okay, well, we'll go and farm that boss tonight and see if we can get this gun or this chest piece or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to that sort of, not just playing the game, but the community that develops around it.
Yeah.
I just adore that stuff. It's persistent. I know the game is not running when I'm not there. It's not like there's just a clock ticking. But it feels like it's going. People are discovering stuff all the time. And to be in that zeitgeist is very rewarding when you're contributing to it within your circle of friends.
Yeah, like this is another one that I'm surprised was on your list. Because whenever it's come up in news or when we were doing E3 and whenever something else has come out for it, you've always been a bit pessimistic with it because of how you turned on the original Division, because of how it was garbage. So again, it's interesting to see, because You've been watching the original on Twitch, you've been talking to the community, you've been getting yourself involved and invested again.
I think enough time's passed. That's what it is. I feel healed. Like, I'm willing to give it another go.
The only thing that does make me scared for it is everything that you mentioned about all the improvements that were made and all this, that and the other. That's what everyone thought was going to happen with Destiny and Destiny 2.
Yeah.
And Destiny 2 screwed the pooch like a motherfucker.
It did. And Massive have to learn from that. Massive cannot make the same mistakes. They can't come in and release a game that's stripped back. This can't be a foundation for them to build on when it should be built up already, and then everything else should be amendments and, tweaks and touches.
Yeah.
You can't come in and put, like I say, a foundation in. That's not going to work. People are just going to be annoyed about that. If it's not complete experience, expect some kickback. Because, well, rightly so, there should be kickback. This isn't what we should be expecting from games now. We shouldn't be expecting them to go, oh, well, this is your base and we'll sell you rest of it, Joe, further down the line.
Yeah.
We shouldn't settle for that. Nobody should settle for that. You don't fucking buy stuff now and then get rest of it delivered fucking over the space of a year and have to pay for it. We should never have to wait a year for something to be finished. It should be finished and then you garnish it with stuff after that. That's acceptable. But with Destiny 2 especially, you mentioned there, that wasn't acceptable. Because we'd gone from a game that were grandiose and there were a lot there to do and it felt complete. And then you went to Destiny 2 and it's like, well, what the fuck? It feels like a starter. You can't have that. You can't. If you went to a restaurant one week and had a big slap up meal and then you went back a week after and all you got were a fucking side salad,
yeah,
you'd be fucking pissed off. Like, that's the thing. You can't treat your customers like that. And Division 2 has to learn from other people's mistakes.
But it does feel the Division 2 is in a position where it's had the first game to make mistakes with and create something, and then that can be kind of... The foundation for the Division 2 should be where the Division is now.
Yeah. I'm not willing to give Division 2 wiggle room. It has to get it right. I don't want to fuck about with it. So that's Division 2. What about your third game?
My number 3 is Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Now, I am quite new to the From Software Soulsborne, I think is the term that people call it. I played Bloodborne for the first time last year. I think I played Dark Souls for the first time the year before. Those games always scared the hell out of me because I heard how tough they are. These are going to kick your ass. Do I want that to happen to me? But then I was like, I'm going to play it. And I played Dark Souls and I loved it. Played Bloodborne, I loved it. Just gone through Dark Souls Remastered on the channel. Had a fantastic time with it. And I'm very much a From Software fan now. And the thing that I love about this is I'm a big fan of feudal Japan. I'm a big fan of fantasy. And I think mixing the two together is awesome. But also the fact that this isn't a Soulsborne game. It's just a From Software game that looks like it's going to be tough as hell. But there's no souls in it. There's no character creation in it. There's none of that stuff in it. It's you play as a dude and you've got to do your thing. What interests me a lot about this as well is that it started off life as a Tenchu game and then became something new. I love the Tenchu games from the PS1. They were great. They were so good. So, like a spiritual successor to the Tenchu series with the DNA of something like Bloodborne just really appeals to me. I can't wait to get my claws into it. It looks fantastic.
Unsurprisingly, this is also on my honourable mention list. Yeah, I have played Soulsborne games before. Last year, I started Bloodborne and played it to a platinum. I completely finished it. And because of that pedigree, I am willing to give Sekiro Shadows Die Twice a go. Especially with the Tenchu tie-in as well, because, like I say, I absolutely adored those games. I'm sort of expecting a more stealthier version of Bloodborne, to be honest, with the Jonah sneaking about and it's the one-hit kills and basically a cross between Metal Gear Solid 5 and a Souls game. That's what I'm expecting, with a story wrapped around it.
You're just making it sound sexier.
I know. I've purposely avoided everything about this game when it comes to reading about it because I don't want it spoiled. It's one of those games where it's not like Resident Evil 2 or Anthem or anything like that, where I've read everything about it because I want to know about it. It's a game that I've purposefully avoided learning about because when I play it, I want to be completely in the blind about it.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to play those games. I specifically did the same with Bloodborne, although I knew little bits from what people had sort of conversed about. I think that's the way to play those games. And yeah, I'm really optimistic about this one. I don't think it's going to be a bad game at all.
So that's my number 3. What is your number 2?
So my number 2 is Control, a single-player game by Remedy. Now, if you know me, you know I'm a big fan of a game called Psyops by Midway, which were released on the PlayStation 2, the Xbox, and I think the GameCube. It was a game about being a psychic soldier. So you had all these psychic powers, pyromancy, you could go like ethereal, like remote vision, and you could pick things up and throw them about with telekinesis, which gradually got stronger as you played the game. And Control, from the little I've seen of it, again, I've tried to not watch a lot of it because the way that they show how powers can be used can influence how you use them when the game eventually comes out. It's intriguing to me. It really, really is intriguing. And it being Remedy, you know it's going to be of a certain level. It's going to be polished. It's going to be nice and AAA. I've not really much more to say about it because, I mean, they've showed it and there's plenty of things to see, but I think they're playing their cards close to their chest when it comes to their overall aspect to that game.
Yeah.
Because they know that there's secrets in there that are just going to blow people's minds and they don't want to spill them until the game's out.
What else have Remedy done?
They did Alan Wake, they did Quantum Break. They have done other stuff as well.
Okay, so they're from a pretty decent pedigree when it comes to making kind of trippy games then.
Yeah, most definitely. I've not actually played Quantum Break. I should get on that. But yeah, as far as games go for single player stuff, Control, like the Outer Worlds, ticks all my boxes. It's got everything that I look for in a game. It's got a bit of shooting, a bit of puzzling. It's got thinking outside the box with the mechanics to what you can do, to conquer the problems within the game.
Yeah.
Hopefully it does well, even if it's not a smash. I hope it does well because it's an interesting idea and concept for a game.
Hopefully it does well enough.
Yeah. So I'll hand over Control to you. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is the biggest surprise that I had from the 2018 Video Game Awards, and that is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order. I've been a fan of the Ultimate Alliance games, and before that the X-Men Legends games since the GameCube days. The last one that we had was Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. Now, they did get remastered for the PS4 a year or two back. They weren't the most solid games. They were a lot of fun, but I still loved them. I had a lot of fun with them. Ultimate Alliance 2, there are a couple of videos on the channel already of me, Elliot, and my brother playing it drunk on New Year's Eve one year. That was a lot of fun, but I didn't think we'd ever get another one. And then, out of nowhere, Team Ninja from Dead or Alive pedigree, Ninja Gaiden, and Metroid Other M,
Boo.
are making, or by the looks of it, have pretty much finished making Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, and that is just awesome. We've got a great team of people making it. It looks awesome graphic-wise, and it's up to date with the movies in so much as it's Thanos and his Black Order, who are the children of Thanos in the movies, but all 5 of them are there instead of having the 4 from the films, or 5 from the comics are there. I'm interested to see what they do with the story. Now, for those who don't know anything about the Ultimate Alliance games, they are 4-player action RPG, kind of dungeon crawler loot 'em ups in a kind of Diet Diablo kind of a way. You're a team of 4, you smash your way through a dungeon, killing faceless foot soldiers, robots, aliens, monsters. You usually fight a boss at the end. The last big story that we had was Civil War, where they kind of loosely adapted the comic story Civil War, and they're a lot of fun. Just get your friends together, play the game with your friends. They're not so good on your own, but when you're playing it with your mates, they're awesome. It's coming to the Switch. Again, great news for me because I've just got a Switch. I'm a little late to the party, but to see games like this coming to it, really excites me. So yeah, my number 2, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3: The Black Order. I cannot wait.
I've never actually played a Marvel Ultimate Alliance game ever.
Really?
And I have spoken to several people about them, and they say that they're underrated gems.
Yeah.
All of them. There were a Wolverine game as well, wasn't there? That followed the same sort of template, and that were meant to be an underrated gem too.
There was a Wolverine game that kind of looked like it. If it's the one that I think it is, I think Mark Hamill does the voice in one of them.
It's like a hack and slasher, it's like overhead view sort of thing.
That'd be X-Men Legends.
Right, okay. But yeah, I know that those games have the fans.
Yeah.
And they're very competent in what they set out to do. But aside from that, I've never played one. I wouldn't mind playing one, actually. Get side by side with a group of mates and play through one. Maybe when I come down to London next time, we'll do that.
Yeah, that'd be good, actually. That'd be a fun one. So that's enough of that. I'm going to throw it back to Simon. But before he gets to his number 1 most anticipated game of 2019, why don't you throw some honourable mentions at us?
Okay, so the top one. I didn't mention this one because it's presumably DLC for a game that's coming out. But this is Monster Hunter Iceborne. Oh, you know I love some Monster Hunter, Rik.
Oh, yeah.
I know you love some Monster Hunter too.
I do love some Monster Hunter.
The thing that we all complained about with Monster Hunter World is that there was no ice world. There were no ice monsters in it. And yeah, they're fixing that. And it looks to be a pretty fucking sizable DLC from what they're portraying it as.
Now, I'm not looking at it as a DLC. I'm looking at it as an expansion. And I do think there's a big difference between the two. This looks like a lot of work's gone into it.
I think the best way to explain this is they're basically adding G rank to the base game. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Instead of selling you another game, it's just, here you go. This just seats on top of Monster Hunter World. Enjoy.
This feels like with World of Warcraft, where you had the main game and then you had the Burning Crusade. Like, it upped the level cap, it introduced a new area, new gear, new stuff like that. That's what this is. It's upping the level cap, I suppose, the challenge cap to G rank, so it's upping the challenge for you. It's introducing a new area, new monsters, new gear. That's an expansion to me. I can't wait. This almost made my honourable mentions list, but I forgot to write it down. So
You're glad I did it.
That's the one reason it's not on mine, because I forgot to write it down. So yeah, I'm very glad that you got that one.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. I have absolutely no hesitation that I'll buy that on release. I will pre-order, and I do not pre-order shit. I never pre-order shit, but yeah, in the case of Monster Hunter Iceborne, yeah, take my money. I know I'm going to get my money's worth from that. The other things that I'm looking forward to, whatever the fuck Zen Studios does, they've been putting out pinball tables from the Williams Ballet selection. At the end of last year, end of 2018, they did Fishtails, MediEvil Madness, Junkyard, and High Speed, and then they did another pack with Black Rose, Party Zone, and Attack from Mars. Some of them are better than others, but they're very, very high caliber representations of the real life tables. And man, am I excited to see what's coming out from them. I hope Monster Bash makes it. There's too many fucking tables. From Williams Ballet, all the best tables come from those guys. All of them. All the ones that you think of when you think of pinball tables, they're there. It's under their umbrella, so yeah, oh man, I'm fucking looking forward to those bastards. I really am. That's another company where whenever they release out, it's just like, just take my money. I'm fucking perfectly fine with you doing what you're doing for the price that you're doing it for. The last game that I'm going to give an honourable mention to is Psychonauts 2. This is a bit of a cult hit. The Psychonauts were done by Double Fine originally, and it's one of those games that sort of got under the skin of the people that played it. I don't think it did very well, but it's well received by the people that did play it, and for Raz and Co to get another outing it's fucking fine by me. The only thing that does worry me is that it's going to be published by Starbreeze. And if you follow up on the news, Starbreeze are not in a good place at the minute.
Nope.
So I think it could be the last game that they ever publish.
It's looking to be that way. This was on my honourable mentions list as well. I'm looking forward to it. Big fan of the original.
Yeah.
Very much excited for this one. Worried for the same reasons you are.
Yeah. I just cringed then, just thinking about it. I did, like, do a physical cringe. I said, oh, fucking hell. Like, they could have jumped into a better partnership than with Starbreeze.
So they're your honourable mentions. What is your number one?
So, given that I have picked Anthem, The Outer Worlds, The Division 2 and Control, what do you think my number one is? Something deep and gritty? Lots of blood? Nope. It's Animal Crossing. So, I don't own a Switch at the minute, but Animal Crossing is the game that will make me get one.
Really?
I fucking love Animal Crossing. I absolutely adore Animal Crossing. The only Animal Crossing that I have never liked was the Wii version, because it wasn't portable. The first one, the GameCube one, I got into it, but it wasn't the one, if you know what I mean. But Wild World and New Leaf, I have spent upwards to be honest, I'm sort of embarrassed. I don't want to fucking say how many hours I've spent on those games now I've started.
Do it, coward.
You're looking at 500 hours at least on both games. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of fucking time. I fucking adore these games. And they're basically games about fuck all. Interior decorating and making friends. I don't even like doing those things in real life. But, yeah, for some reason, Animal Crossing, yeah, I adore these games. And I can't put my finger on why. Because they're a massive waste of time. But there's something about filling in the museum and your fishing collection and your bug collection and having friends and making sure that they're okay and building up a town and, you know, putting the trees where you want them to be and putting the fruit trees where you want them to be and making everything look aesthetically beautiful. Yeah, I spend so much fucking time playing these games. It's ridiculous.
That actually surprises me.
Yeah, honestly, Animal Crossing is like one of my guilty pleasures. Yeah, I busted the fucking lid off that. People think I like fucking really violent games and stuff, but yeah, Animal Crossing is, it's one of my games of all time. Animal Crossing. I fucking adore it. It's beautiful. What about your honourable mentions?
So, for my honourable mentions, you want to sit down and strap in, because I have a lot of them. They're basically a list all to themselves, so I'm going to go through mine a little bit quicker than you went through yours. First, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. The new game by Koji Igarashi, the guy that brought us Castlevania Symphony of the Night and a load of the Game Boy Advance and DS Castlevanias, which are my personal favourite Castlevanias. It was kickstarted several years ago for a ludicrous amount of money, and it's finally coming out this year. I've been following this game for so long, and I cannot wait for it.
I vaguely remember this being kickstarted, and I've completely forgot about it. It's been a long time fucking coming, this. Fucking hell.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Another game a long time coming, not quite as long as Bloodstained, but is Code Vein. The new game from Bandai Namco looks like another Soulsborne kind of Souls-like game about a post-apocalyptic world run by vampires in an anime style. It was supposed to come out in 2018, but it was pushed back almost an entire year, and that's finally coming out. Also, Devil May Cry 5 didn't make it into my top 5 list. It was going to, because it was probably my most anticipated game for 2019 when it was announced at E3 2018. But every piece of news that I've seen since then, microtransactions, all the playable characters, the fact that the new character V looks like shit, really everything I've seen about it has put me off of it, but I can't completely sever myself from the hype, so it's on the honourable mentions list.
I feel terrible for you being heartbroken over this game, as bits of story come out over it.
Yeah.
It's not good, is it?
No. But hopefully, the next honourable mention, MediEvil, the remake of the PS1 classic, will be absolutely amazing. I'm excited for it, but I don't feel that it deserved to be on the actual big list. Same with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Nothing's known about it other than the fact that Respawn Entertainment are doing it. They have a great pedigree, so I'm hoping that this is going to be the first game under EA's license deal that isn't a complete clusterfuck when it launches. I'm also massively looking forward to Yoshi's Crafted World. Big fan of Woolly World, played it with my girlfriend. Didn't break up, which means that we are basically married now. Also, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. I've never played a Fire Emblem game.
What?
Yeah.
How?
They just passed me by. So, I'm looking forward to having this on the Switch. And in keeping with the Switch, in fact, the last 3 games in my honourable mentions are all Switch games. Because the next one is Bayonetta 3. I'm a huge fan of Bayonetta, and I can't wait to play some more.
I've not played 2 of... Well, obviously I've not played 3 because it's not fucking out yet. But, yeah, I've not played 2. I would like to. I didn't have the console.
You don't have a Wii U?
No, I did have the console, but, yeah, it's a bit of a weird one because I fucking love Bayonetta 1. So, that's your honourable mentions.
Yes.
What's your number 1 game?
Surprising absolutely no one, my most anticipated game of 2019 is Kingdom Hearts 3. I've been waiting too many years for this game. 12 years I think it's been since Kingdom Hearts 2 came out. This is insane that it's actually happening. When it was first announced at E3 2013, I sat there and out of nowhere Kingdom Hearts 3 came on. And you know what, Simon? I'm not ashamed to admit, I almost cried. I was that happy and that excited that I got a bit teary in the face. I couldn't believe it was happening. Now, almost 6 years later, it's finally coming out. As you know, I've started streaming on Twitch. I've been playing through the original Kingdom Hearts games. Some of them haven't aged as well as others, but it hasn't detracted from my excitement for Kingdom Hearts 3. I've been waiting far too long for this game. Everything that I've seen for it just gets me more and more excited. Very confused, because I don't know where the story's going, but I can't believe it's actually happening. And the fact that it was revealed 6 years ago almost is insane. And it's finally here at the end of this month.
There's a couple of things I want to say about this. Kingdom Hearts 3, is it going to end the story here?
No.
Oh.
Apparently Tetsuya Nomura, the creator and director, turned around and said, oh no, there's going to be more. And I don't know if that's Kingdom Hearts 3 as the end of Sora's story, and then any of the games that come out are going to be spin-offs that fill in the gaps.
Right.
But just end it, man.
Yeah, it's like Shenmue 3, innit? It's like, you've waited this long, just put a pin in it so people can get some closure. Like, they can have some severance from it and be done with it. The other question I have is, if it's been in development for 6 years, well, longer than 6 years because they announced it before, how many things has Disney acquired since then that have been added to the game?
Honestly, I don't think anything that Disney have acquired since then is going to be added to the game. I think they are just keeping it Disney. The only thing that Disney have acquired that looks like it's going to make it into the game is Pixar, because we've got Toy Story, we've got Monsters Inc.
What I'm saying is the films that have come out after the announcement of the game, presumably they're going to be in it. Presumably Nomura didn't know about the extra things that were coming out from Disney because they'll have kept everything close to the chest when it was coming out. So that'll have had to do with being added after. So that's probably why it's taken so long to come out, because Disney have done stuff and he's like, oh, we'll use that if we can get the rights to it. I'm guessing. Will they have to do that? I'm not entirely sure what goes on from the legal aspect of making something like Kingdom Hearts, because fuck, there's a lot of people involved, a lot of different creative talents there, all putting in.
Well, when you look at the worlds that have been revealed, you've got Tangled, which came out way before 2013. You've got Monsters Inc., Toy Story. They came out before 2013, before the reveal. Frozen, which got revealed later on, came out in 2013, the same year as the reveal, so that's 6 years old. Big Hero 6 came out in 2014.
Man, they only seem like they came out yesterday.
Yeah, so there's a lot of time that's passed. I think the main reason it's taken so long is because he was focused on Final Fantasy 15.
Right, okay.
And
so
he was trying to direct.
He's heading multiple projects.
He was trying to direct 2 games. So he put his main focus on 15 to get that finished and out. And then when that was out, he jumped back over to Kingdom Hearts. So I think the reason it's taken so long... And also, Kingdom Hearts is his baby. It's his idea, it's his thing. So I think it's just him being a perfectionist and tweaking a lot of things. As far as other licenses, I don't think we're going to see any Marvel in there. I don't think we're going to see any Star Wars in there, which is a shame, because I would have much rather have had an Avengers level than a fucking Pirates of the Caribbean 2 level, which we've got. But that's just me.
Yeah, it's going to give someone a kick if they're into that sort of thing. I think that's it for this episode.
I think you're right. So that's our list of our most anticipated games of 2019. Let us know what your most anticipated games for this year are in the comments below, or talk to us over at Twitter at StrangePlay UK, or follow us on Instagram at StrangePlay. You can also come over and chat with me at twitch.tv/StrangePlayUK. I stream pretty much every day from midday onwards.
And you can come and watch me at twitch.tv/sly_reflex.
You can also join our Discord server, invite link in the description. Also, if you like this video or like what we do on the channel, feel free to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends. It helps us grow, and we really do appreciate it. But until next week, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you then.
I'm coming for you, Tom Nook. Take my bells.